Ever wonder how criminals think? How they plan, manipulate, or pull off their schemes without getting caught? Today, I'm exposing 20 advanced crime-related expressions and phrasal verbs that reveals the psychology behind deception, fraud, and secret plots. If you love crime shows, legal dramas, or you just want to sound like an advanced native speaker, you need to know these. Stay till the end because the last one is the key to every criminal's mastermind's success. But before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you won't miss any other further uploads. Let's get into it. Here's the first one. To brew something in somebody's mind, which means to slowly develop an idea or a plan, often for something deceitful. For example, he had been brewing a revenge plan in his mind for months. A criminal scheme doesn't happen overnight. It brews in their mind over time.
2,000 miles to the north in the state of Barani, trouble was brewing.
Oh, Darcy, I knew when you came in with good shoes something was brewing.
Here's number 2. Harbor something, which means to secretly hold onto thoughts, plans, or emotions, especially the ones that are harmful or illegal. He harbored a deep hatred for his business rival. She was arrested for harboring a fugitive in her house.
Even if they do come back, you're not supposed to harbor them.
You're asking me to harbor and aid a convicted felon.
Harbor can be followed by thought, emotions, plans, or even people. Number 3, lay low, which means to avoid attention, especially after committing a crime. After the robbery, they laid low in a small town for weeks. He knew the police were looking for him, so he had to lay low.
Lay low for a while because you're probably wanted for murder.
Oh, babe, I was kind of hoping to just lay low.
Number 4, to set someone up, to frame someone for a crime that they didn't commit. He swore he was innocent, claiming someone had set him up. The detective realized that evidence was planted. Someone was setting her up.
Van Garrett set him up with an acre and a broken-down cottage.
But he's got to set him up more.
Number 5, to cook up something, which means to invent or scheme something, often deceitful. The scammer cooked up a fake investment opportunity to steal money. They cooked up an excuse to get out of the contract.
We cook up an excuse as to why we need to leave early.
Cerberus was trying to cook up an antidote too.
Number 6, to cover someone's track, which means to hide evidence of wrongdoing or prevent being caught. After hacking into the system, he covered his tracks by deleting all logs. The thief covered his tracks so well that the police had no leads.
He killed him to cover his tracks.
Our only chance is to nab him as he tries to kill again, cover his tracks.
Number 7, to play someone like a fiddle, which means to manipulate someone completely. She played him like a fiddle, making him believe she was innocent. Con artists know how to play their victims like a fiddle.
Well, I knew she would play him like a banjo at an Ozark hoedown, so I have the key.
When I get them in front of, especially in front of people that look like me, I'm gonna play them like a symphony.
Here is number 8, to keep something under wraps, which means to keep something secret, often for a hidden agenda. The company kept this scandal under wraps for years. They kept their illegal activities under wraps to avoid suspicion.
I know you told me to keep it under wraps, but
This is an alien and you guys are from some government agency trying to keep it under wraps.
To rope someone into something, which means to trick or pressure someone into doing something often illegal or undesirable. He roped his friend into a money laundering scheme. I got roped into helping them move, even though I had other plans.
Tried to rope me into some crackpot scheme.
You're trying to rope me into having sex.
Number 10, smoke and mirrors, which is a deceptive trick used to hide the truth. Their entire business was just smoke and mirrors. It looked real, but it was a scam. The politician's speech was nothing but smoke and mirrors to distract from the real issues.
And no, not in a kind of smoke and mirrors way, no.
Wasn't exactly smoke and mirrors, but we didn't have anything.
Number 11, to keep someone in the dark, which means to deliberately withhold information from someone. They kept the employees in the dark about the company's financial problems. She was kept in the dark about the illegal dealings until it was too late.
Well, she can't keep me in the dark forever.
All right, they keep me in the dark for shit like this.
Number 12, hatch a plan, which means to carefully create a secret plan, often illegal or harmful. The criminals hatched a plan to hack into the banking system. They hatched an elaborate scheme to defraud investors.
Annabelle and the assistant hatch a plan together?
Right.
Are you ready to hatch a plan to raid the hospital's coffers?
Conjure up something, which means to create a thought or a plan, often out of nowhere. He suddenly conjured up a brilliant scam to manipulate the stock market. She conjured up a fake identity to trick investors.
I've seen things with my own eyes that most people have to go to sleep to conjure up.
Perhaps she'll be able to conjure up another miraculous escape.
Conjure up can also refer to bringing back memories. For example, that song conjures up childhood memories. Number 14, to map out something, which means to carefully plan every detail of something, often for deception. They mapped out an escape route before the robbery. He mapped out every move in his financial fraud operation.
Hey, Charlie, get your map out, will you, babe? Spread the map out on the hood.
Number 15, to plot something, which means to secretly plan something harmful or illegal. The group plotted to take down a high-profile politician. He plotted against his business partner to take full control of the company.
And if you plot it out, it creates a spiral found in nature.
You know, when I was a teenager, or even later, into my 20s, I used to plot it all out.
Number 16, to scheme something, which means to create a dishonest or illegal plan to deceive others. They schemed to steal millions from unsuspecting investors. She was caught scheming to manipulate the voting system.
I think it'll all make sense in the grand scheme of things.
I'm gonna decorate the whole apartment around that color scheme.
In British English, scheming can also mean being cunning or manipulative in general sense. To lay the groundwork for something, which means to set up the condition for something to happen, often in a secretive way. For example, he laid the groundwork for the biggest cyber heist in history. The scammer laid the groundwork for months before executing his plan.
Psychiatrist doesn't lay the groundwork.
In a way, Jinder Mahal did sort of lay the groundwork for what McIntyre experienced.
To toy with a plan or an idea, which means to consider a really dangerous or a criminal plan, but not fully committed to it. He toyed with the idea of blackmail, but hesitated at the last moment. They toyed with different fraud tactics before settling on identity theft.
Don't toy with Flores, Schwartz.
Number 19, to mastermind something, which means to be the main planner behind a major criminal act. He masterminded the largest money laundering operation in history. The FBI arrested the man who masterminded the cyber attack.
Right, you're a criminal mastermind.
That's why he's the mastermind.
Designer or mastermind.
Last but not least, to set in motion something, which means to start a chain of events often leading to crime. For example, his decision to manipulate the stock market set in motion an international investigation. Once the fake documents were leaked, it set in motion a major corporate scandal.
Recently, I planned and set in motion events to execute the perfect bank robbery.
But I fear this quest has set in motion forces we do not yet understand.
And here's the bonus expression I promised. Pull the string, which means to secretly control or manipulate an event, often for criminal purposes. He wasn't the one who committed the fraud, but he was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. She pulled the strings to ensure her accomplices escaped without a trace.
That you're using me just to pull the strings.
This man is my puppet, and I've barely begun to pull the strings.
Now you know how criminals think, plan, or deceive. You've just learned 20 powerful, advanced crime-related expressions and phrasal verbs that will help you to understand movies and crime shows. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might need it out there. I work really hard to bring you the most real native advanced English lessons out there. And your support, it really keeps this channel alive. So if you want to keep growing and mastering English like never before, stay with me. See you in my next lesson.